Welcome back to Eatrigue. I'm nearing the end of my 7-day challenge to only eat food that have come out of a tin.
Not what I was expecting.
So far, there have been highs.
It's probably my favourite thing I've had all week.
Lows.
Chicken and jackfruit curry.
And even a very pleasant surprise.
I was not expecting it to be so tasty.
With only 2 days to go, I'm pushing the limits of what counts as tinned food.
Pringles. And I'm going to put Doritos on top.
Make a pizza without cheese.
That's worked extremely well.
And create the saddest looking stir fry you have ever seen.
The stir fries are supposed to be fresh and crunchy veggies.
Hey, good morning. What's going on with my hair today? That's not right. Yeah, where am I? I'm tired. Sunday. Day 6, Sunday. Because I don't always start these things on a Monday. And therefore, because it's Sunday, I need a bacon sandwich. That's the rule. That's what I do. Can't have a sandwich. I also can't have bacon. So instead, I'm going to make some more croissant. And I'm going to have some of this bacon grill. Now this essentially looks to me a bit like Spam, except it does actually claim to have a sort of more bacony type flavour. So it's 43% pork, then it's mechanically separated pork, which sounds delicious. Then pork, pork fat, blah 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 blah, and some smoke flavouring. I'll open it up in a minute. First job is to make more croissant. Whilst those are cooking, let's take a look at this bacon grill then. So it opens just the same as that ham we had earlier in the week, using the key. Hopefully I'll be better with it this time. I'm tired. Okay, again it's got that awful artificial smoke flavour. Again, it smells like an oil fire. It's just, don't know about this. You just cut some slices of this and then fry it for a bit. So let's do that. They might be a bit too thick, but solid. That's what we've got. Right, let's just try some of this uncooked. Basically, just like that, similar to the premium ham we had, except with some really awful artificial smoke flavour. Let's see if it tastes a bit better when it's cooked. I'm not expecting good things from this. Okay, so I'm going to take one of my freshly baked croissants, slice it open, and then just shove in a bit of the bacon. And let's try that. Oh, that is awful. Honestly, it's the worst thing I've tasted all week. That smoke flavour, cooking it has enhanced that and made it even worse. Oh my god. That is an insult to bacon. That is ridiculous. I'm just going to take another bite just to make sure. Oh. No. Oh. Bleh. Oh. That is the worst thing ever. I guess I'm just eating a plain croissant today. Right. I found a better breakfast to have. I'm just going to have another kimchi ham croissant that I had for lunch the other day. So much better. Who needs bacon when you got kimchi? Okay, so for today's lunch, something that's definitely going to be nicer than the stupid bloody bacon I had this morning. Basically just to make a tuna pasta bake, very simple. I have here some macaroni cheese, and then I'm also going to use the leftover macaroni that I siphoned off from the lasagna the other day. And then I'm just going to throw in some tuna, and then some sweet corn on top of that. Got some plain old Pringles, which I'm going to crunch up and put on top as a sort of crunchy, textury kind of stuff. So this should be very simple. It's literally just throw everything into a bowl, mix it up, put it in a baking tray, cook it until it's cooked. Technical term, cook it till it's cooked. Okay, let's start with the macaroni cheese then. Oh, this is a different one. It's much more yellow than the previous one we had actually. So let's shove that in the bowl. And add in the leftover macaroni from the other day. Now for the tuna. So this is tuna in spring water. It's much healthier than any other type of tuna. I'm just going to siphon off that water. Give that to the cat later. She'll enjoy that. If you do have a cat, don't do that too often. The extra salt isn't great for them, but it's alright as an occasional treat. We don't eat tuna too often, so now the sweet corn. Let's just throw some of that in there. I'm just going to throw in some extra flavours. Just going to add a bit of pepper into this. We'll just perk it up a bit more. And just as an additional added flavour, I can add some parsley. It goes well with fish, so a little bit of that in there. And then we'll just siphon that off into a baking tray, or baking dish. And finally, Pringles. Now when I normally make a pasta bake, which to be fair isn't often, I normally put Doritos on top. Unfortunately Doritos don't come in tubes, so a few Pringles is fine. And normally what I do now is I'll just put some cheese on top. But again, cheese is not allowable. There's nothing stopping you doing it if you make this normally. And there we go. Tuna pasta bake. Now I'm just going to cook that in the oven for, let's say 10 to 15 minutes, see how it goes. And there's the finished product. It's all nice and crispy on the top. You can see it bubbling at the back there. Let's get a mouthful with something of everything. Oh, that's quite nice. The Pringles have kind of lost a bit of their crunchiness. Doritos are much better, they just stay crunchy. But it's not bad, it's quite yummy actually. I like it when I just invent a recipe at random and it just comes good. Awesome. Alright, it's a lovely day, so I'm going to go enjoy this outside. See you later. Okay, so for dinner on day 6, we're going to have a stir fry. I've got all kinds of stuff here. Some of the stuff I would actually normally put in a stir fry anyway, some I wouldn't. So I've got like 3 tins here from a company called Kingfisher Oriental. I have some sliced water chestnuts, some bamboo shoots, and bean sprouts. Then in addition, I'm also going to throw in some baby carrots. A bit worried about these because they tend to be a bit soggy, whereas I prefer my carrots a bit al dente, shall we say, in a stir fry. But we'll go with it. Some green beans, just because otherwise we won't have any green colour. Got some mushrooms. And then for the meat, I've got 2 different types of chicken breast in a can here. I've got one from Peck, which is from Poland, and one from Morrison's, which actually originates in Denmark. They look very similar. We'll check that out shortly. Slices up into strips, and we'll see how we go. Now in terms of sauce, you can't find a single stir fry or even Chinese sauce of any description in a can, nor can I get soy sauce in a can, which is obviously another backup, just throw some sauces in there. Can't do that. The only thing that I've got and I could find that would actually go with a stir fry potentially is this beef stock. When you buy it like this, it's intended to sort of be added to like a stew or a casserole or something like that, or a sauce. So what my plan is for this is to reduce it down. I'm going to throw a bit of this in the pot. Don't know how much, maybe about half of it, and then reduce that so it gets a bit thicker. And hopefully that will induce the sauce that we need. Okay, that's that reduced down. Just giving it a taste. It is so intense now, it's amazing. This is actually, I think, going to taste quite nice if that flavour can get induced around the entire stir fry. Okay, so all I need to do with this is just basically open all these cans and drain off all the water, and then I'm going to put them in a couple of plates just so I can then throw it in the stir fry as and when required. Let's try one of these bean sprouts. There's literally no taste to these. Veg that's going to be in our stir fry. It's probably a bit too much for 2 people. I'm not sure if I'll cook it all. Maybe I'll save some back. Maybe make a soup or something out of it at some point. Now time to check out these chickens. Start with the pet chicken first. It smells quite chickeny. Just make a hole in the top there. Just squeeze that through. Let's run a knife around the inside. Maybe that'll help tease it out. Oop. There we go. And just the way it's stuck to the can like that makes me think that this was once liquid and they've squeezed it into the can. Let's just cut some strips of this out. I mean, it's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad either. Let's open this other can of Morrison's one. See if it's any better. Oh, that one comes right out. Oh, it was covered in jelly. Okay. Immediately, this Morrison's one actually looks so much more appetising than this Peck's one. Now that's interesting. If you just read the front, it says chicken breast. But then you look at the back, and it says it contains pork gelatin. So if you don't eat pork, be really careful with this because it's actually got pork in it. Didn't realise that. Whereas this one doesn't seem to have that in. But it does say it's formed chicken. It doesn't say what part of the chicken it is, and it's got mechanically separated meat as well, which is basically where a machine comes and scrapes the carcasses and gets whatever little extra bits of meat they can off the carcass. But let's just try that. Ooh, that tastes so much better. It's a much nicer flavour, whereas this one, more subtle flavour, not as good. That's the prep done. Now we just need to wok it. So I'm going to start by frying the chicken. If we get a bit of colour on that. Let's start with the Peck stuff. And now the Morrison's nicer stuff. Let's toss that around and get it nice and coated in oil. We'll just add in some of the extra stuff. Let's go with the water chestnuts. And the bamboo shoots. And then we'll add in some of the mushrooms, some of the green beans, and some of the carrots, including this one that's trying to get away. Now I want to add in my beef stock. Finally, good quantity of bean sprouts. Just scoop a bit of this into each bowl. There you go.
Okay. Okay.
It doesn't look awesome, does it? It's a bit grey.
Yeah.
It's kind of like...
I mean, the stir fries are supposed to be fresh and...
I know.
You know, crunchy veggies.
The main culprit of the greyness is definitely the green beans and the carrots.
Oh yeah, because they're not very green, are they?
No. I mean, I think it might taste nice.
Okay, well let's try it. Well, that's chicken, I just ate.
Yeah. Now, there were 2 different types of chicken in here. One of them is much nicer than the other. So one is made from 87% chicken breast and just a few other bits and bobs, including pork gelatin, which is a bit weird. The other one, 70-odd% reformed chicken, or mechanically separated chicken.
That sounds disgusting. Is that the ones that they roll in, like...
Yeah, where they get the carcass
Ammonium.
after they've filleted it out and taken the breast off and whatnot.
Oh, that's why.
And they get machines that go like that and just take off.
I don't feel like eating this anymore. I haven't done that one. Oh.
Alright, that one was the breast. It actually tasted a lot nicer. So just try it.
Yeah. The breast you can see because it's got striations in it.
Exactly. Just give that a go.
And that's alright.
It's so much better, isn't it?
The mushrooms are good.
I've not tried a mushroom yet. They were very tasteless when I just ate them straight out the can.
I mean, this is a meal.
I mean, it's not too bad tasting.
Not too bad.
I mean, the stocker's doing a lot of heavy lifting.
A lot of heavy lifting. Yeah. I think I'm very much looking forward to not having to do this anymore.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I just want a nice big salad.
The restriction of only eating tin food is too much.
If I lived in a bunker, I'd be skinny.
Although, thinking about it, if you were to do an apocalypse type situation, you wouldn't just have tin food.
That's true. You'd have like bags of rice.
Exactly.
Oh my god, the chicken.
Oh yeah, that bad chicken is bad, isn't it?
We have a word for this in Afrikaans. I have to get it right. You know when you're like...
Oh, the food would go...
That. There's a word for it.
Wow. Oh well. One more day to go. Just one more day.
Okay.
And then we can have ketchup. I miss the ketchup! Final day. Almost there. And I've been very boring today. Just having a tin of baked beans and sausages. I literally can't think of anything more interesting to have. I am mixing up a little bit because I've never had this brand before, so that's excitement, isn't it? Is it? Let's try these then. Normally the sausages are a bit tasteless, as we've found in general this week, as the meat in a can is not very nice. Sausage itself just, yeah, all the taste of it empties out into the beans and the sauce. Now, normally I have beans on toast, can't have toast, so having croissant. Beans on croissant, how's that? Alright. Basically it's like buttery, yeah? Buttery, more buttery. It's more buttery. So for lunch today I am making pizzas, but using croissant dough, because you can never have enough food made out of croissant dough where you don't have the bread. That's my justification anyway. I think this should work out alright. It's going to be a bit different, but we'll see. You know, never made a pizza using croissant dough. Don't know if anyone has, they probably have. So the toppings are going to be made using just stuff made out of tins, of course. So I'm going to make a pizza sauce using a tin of chopped tomatoes, along with some herbs and spices that are allowed. I'm going to use a bit of tomato paste in it as well, just to thicken it up. And in terms of toppings, we're going to make a Hawaiian. So we're going to have ham and pineapple. Now I'm going to lose a load of views now by putting pineapple on a pizza, but I really like pineapple on a pizza, so shut up. However, I'm not going to use this tin, mostly because I still have a whole bunch of ham left over from the premium ham, so there's no point opening a new tin of ham when I've already got some ham, so I'm going to put this aside and use this instead. So first things first, let's make the pizza sauce. Okay, so just going to be a very basic pizza sauce. Ideally, I would have some onions to make it with start, but I don't have any more tinned onions, so we'll just have to go about, I guess. And also, this tin of chopped tomatoes is the basic kind, so it's going to be quite watery. So I'm going to drain off the excess water and use just mostly the tomatoes themselves. Get this heated up. So let's throw in a couple of teaspoons of the tomato puree. Then herbs and spices, I'm going to throw in some black pepper, a bit of salt, and some basil. Okay, let's whizzy this up. There we go, let's just get that a taste. Delicious. Okay, now it's time for the next step. Cut some chunks of ham. Now the pineapples. And portion these out. Now we take our croissant. Let's take our pizza sauce and put a nice amount on each one. And then with the toppings. And there we go. Now of course we have no cheese, but that's okay. That's just the rules of this week. We'll see how we go. Stick them in the oven and see how they taste. here's the final cooked product. Doesn't look too bad. Would be better with cheese, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. Okay, they're coming away quite easy. That's good. Actually, pretty good. Actually, and it feels almost like a proper pizza slice, just a bit of an odd shape. It's nice and crunchy underneath, and it's not too floppy. I mean, that's just only flopped down because it's folded. But as you can see, it's kind of holding its shape, which is great. Let's see how it tastes. Ooh! That's worked extremely well. Obviously, you've got an entirely different texture to dough, like a bread dough. It's kind of more flaky, but it's sort of lighter and slightly crispy all the way through rather than sort of squidgy. That's really good. I'm going to try this again, but with cheese at some point. Awesome. Success. Woohoo! Confession time. The video you just saw was filmed 3 years ago. I have been trying to launch this channel for a long time and I've only just released it. So why are you seeing this now? Well, I somehow managed to lose all of the footage from the final meal of that challenge. I don't know what happened. Maybe I just forgot to back it up or something, but either way, what I'm going to do now is recreate what I did, but I'm going to make a few improvements as well. But also, welcome to my new kitchen. A lot has happened in the 3 years since I filmed that originally to now. Not least, I live here now. Secondly, I look like this now all the time. And it's awesome, by the way. Cool. Well, let me tell you what day 7 dinner was. These are the main ingredients for the dinner I made on day 7. Can you guess what it is? It's fish cakes. This is one of the few photos I actually took of that meal and the only surviving evidence that I actually did it in the first place. It was okay. It was actually one of the more successful things I made in the week. Essentially, I mixed together the potato and the salmon and then coated it in croissant dough. I'll explain how I do that later. And of course, on the side of my meal was some tinned peas, which are absolutely awful. I hate it. I am not eating tinned peas again. They are disgusting. They have no flavour. And they are tasteless, which is basically the same thing. I don't know why I said that twice, but there you go, we've got that. Anyway, let's get started. So first things first is to cook the croissant. Now the croissant itself is going to be the coating around the outside of the fish cake. And that's going to be instead of the breadcrumbs that you normally find on the outer layer. I'm going to take the dough and instead of cooking it in the shape of a croissant, I'm going to cook it flat. So sort of in a similar way to the pizzas that you've just seen, except obviously with no toppings. And the reason for that is I want to actually get this nice and crispy so that when I chop it up later on, it's crispy and not sort of doughy. I've got a piece of grease-proof paper and I'm going to transfer 2 of my croissant sections onto it. And that is what we are going to coat around our fish cakes. And just because this is going to go off if I don't do anything with it, I'm just going to make 4 regular croissants. And that's going to be what I'm eating for breakfast tomorrow morning. So these are now going to go in the oven for about 15 minutes. And I want these to be nice and crispy, these to be sort of regular. Last time these took a bit longer than these, so we'll see what happens this time with a different oven. Whilst that's cooking, I'm going to prepare the fillings. So let's open up this tin of salmon and I'll throw that in the bowl here. And then we'll just mush that up and make it nice and flaky. Cool, so next we want to look at our potatoes. So these are new potatoes. And I bought these because they are the cheapest potatoes in the supermarket. And again, I'm going to mash it in a bowl, not a bowl, a pan, saucepan. Oh, these are solid, but it is working, so that's good. I'm going to move our potatoes into our bowl with our fish. So in terms of seasonings, last time I went very basic. I just went with some salt and pepper and some parsley. But let's go something a bit more out there today. I will be starting, of course, with the salt and pepper, because we do need some actual flavour in this, although not too much salt because the salmon has salt in it anyway. So, and then we'll throw in some pepper for a bit of nice kick. And this time I'm going to go for dill. I didn't even have dill last time, but I have become quite a fan of this recently, so let's throw that in. And I'm going to throw in some orange ones. I'll start off with some onion granules and some smoked paprika. Not too much, we just want a hint of that. And some crushed chilies, because heat is awesome. But again, not too much. You don't want to overpower things. And then we'll just toss those in together. Let's just give that a taste. Needs a bit more salt. And it needs something else. And that something else is a bit of acidity. So I'm going to throw in a small amount of lemon juice. Oh, so much better. Awesome. This is why you taste food before you cook it. So now we need to form the fish cakes. So I'm going to use these crumpet rings / burger rings / egg rings. Little rings. Small amount of oil around the edge of our rings. And then I'll take our mixture, place it in the rings and press it down, because at the moment it is quite loose. So I'm then going to take these and stick them in the fridge, and then that will just form them together a bit more as well. So here we go, all cooked, and they're not very crispy at the moment, but they will be. Just going to get these onto a cooling rack. They've had time to cool now. So what I'm going to do is chop these up real small and turn them into breadcrumbs. So, oh yeah, that's exactly what we need. This is like crumbly as hell. Look at that. And that's going all over the floor. So, and I've just hoovered as well. I should not have done that. Oh well. I'm just going to transfer this now into a bowl, ready to coat our fish cakes in it. So let's take these out of their casing and get them all nice and coated. It's falling apart! That didn't happen last time. I might try and smush this one back together. Well, there you go, that's what we've got. This is the one that didn't fall apart, and this is the one that did. It definitely has a different look to it. So, and I'm going to stick these in the oven for about 15 minutes or so, until the outside gets nice and golden brown. So while they're cooking in the oven, I'm going to snack on the remainder of this filling and sum up on the week that was. So what was my favourite meal? Honestly, thinking back, probably the shepherd's pie. I mean, the recipe I could have improved a little bit by adding, a bit more salt, a bit more spices, just boiling down the minced beef as well to sort of make it less liquidy, basically reducing it. It's something I would potentially do again. I mean, that said, I haven't. But another thing that did surprise me was that duck. Oh, that was amazing. I love that duck. One thing I didn't mention though is that when we did buy it, we also checked how much the fresh version of that confit duck was, and it was literally half the price. So if you want to buy a confit duck, find the fresh version. Don't buy the tin, because why would you? It's just, why pay twice the price for the same product? It's just pointless. Anyway, I think this is just about ready. Yeah, they're about ready. There we go. Pretty good, don't they? Let's get this served up on a plate. And here's the final product. This is the one that fell apart. This is the one that didn't. I think they both look pretty good. Now, I know I said I was going to make some improvements to it. Actually, I don't think I did, because I messed it up. Ooh, well, but this is cooking. This is what happens when you cook, and I haven't made this in 3 years, and I don't remember all the pitfalls that I made the last time. So, anyway, let's give this a go then, shall we? So I'll just take the other one off the plate, so I've got one to myself. Let's cut this open. There we go. That's what it looks like on the inside. If you can see that, because the light's gone a bit funny. But just looks like a fish cake, doesn't it? But let's give it a try. Obviously I've been snacking on the filling, but now that it's warm. Your chilli gives a nice kick, and the herbs and the salt and pepper just, it's amazing. It's like, this is seasoned perfectly. The only downside is that it's just a bit too dry. And having the croissant on the outside just adds a bit of sweetness, which you wouldn't expect. Normally you'd go for like a breadcrumb, so it'll be quite plain. I mean, the breadcrumb itself might be flavoured slightly, but it's more bread dough rather than a sweetened croissant dough. But I don't mind it. It's quite nice. But because I am not officially in the challenge, there's one extra thing I want to do to this that I couldn't have done that week, and that is mayonnaise. Will add some moisture. Oh, so much better with the mayonnaise. Well, if you made it to this point in the video, you're obviously quite interested in the content I make, so why don't you click that subscribe button, and then you'll be able to be notified of every time I've dropped a new video. I release videos twice a week for everything from 7-day challenges to food taste tests to crazy willets. Also check out these older videos. I quite like this one here. That's the best one. This one's pretty good too. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Do this and click that one now.